Hello, friends. Well, I'm going to be away from technology for a little bit, so I will not be answering comments in my customary way, at least within a few days. So give me a little bit of time to catch up on comments for this video. Today I wanted to share something that's been, well, really a focus in my life lately. No pun intended, though. I guess I just made one. Because this is all about attention. I remember once reading an old Zen saying, and I can't remember the whole dialogue between the Zen master and the student, but in the end, the answer to the student's quandary was attention, attention, attention. And I always took that to mean that we need to really learn to have attention, the kind of attention that your teacher is asking you for in the third grade classroom. But over time, I've taken a different view on that and in a way actually flipped it on its head. And I think this reframing may be useful for you as well. Now, we all know that where we put our attention is very important. If I'm having some dark feelings and I put my attention onto those feelings, they're going to grow and replicate and get stronger. If I start to put my attention on the wind, the clouds, the chirping of the crickets, then I might start to learn things about the weather patterns because that's where I'm putting my attention. We all also probably are aware that we live in a culture that tries to grab our attention. If our attention can be grabbed, then ads can be fed to us. We can be sold things. People can make money from us. And so there's a lot of people invested in grabbing your attention. Increasingly today, a lot of us are finding that we are feeling drawn into media, for instance, that has some really dark messages about what's happening in the world. And that becomes our worldview. We start to accept that as our reality because that's where our attention is going. So that Zen master had something very important to point out, and that is attention, attention, attention. Where that attention goes. That may be the important part. Because here's the thing, we could reframe this and say, instead of having to develop attention, which is kind of a tough thing to develop, to say that you already have perfect attention. And what I mean by that is that your mind is very good at focusing on things. In fact, it might be so attentive to, say, a movie that someone can come up and tap you on the shoulder or say something to you. You may not even hear them. You see this on smartphones all the time. Somebody can be so engaged in their smartphone, they can hear their name called or not hear their name called. And it's like no one's home. But it's not that no one's home. Their attention is just strongly focused on that phone. So in a way, we already have the power of attention. It is very strong for you, for me, for all of us. But the key is where we put it. And that is the essential thing. So my daily practice lately has been trying to put my attention more consciously into places where I want it to be. So I woke up the other morning and looked outside and I saw dew on the grass and I saw the movement of some birds and I saw what the sky was doing. And I was very tuned in to what was happening weather-wise and what would be happening that day weather-wise. I was tuned in to my family. I could see their expressions and the way they were moving, and I could be more empathetic and compassionate because I was tuned into them and more aware, more attentive to them. Now, today, it's been a bad attention day for me. There's been some things drawing my attention in different directions, and I haven't been very good at reining it back and refocusing it. And so what that means is that my mind feels like it's more on runaway. And I haven't given attention to some of the vital things in my life, my nature connection, my family, because my attention, boom, has been drawn elsewhere. And this is a good reminder, I hope, for you, as it is for me, that as we're trying to hone any of these mental, emotional skills, there's going to be great days when we're totally on. There's going to be not so great days. For me, it's often tougher to see the progress in the mental, emotional realm than it is in, say, running. I can run a certain distance, I have a timer, I have something very objective that tells me I'm getting better. Yes, there still will be good days and bad days running, but those good days, I'm going to start to see, I'm getting a progression, getting a little faster on average as time goes on. We can pay attention to something like our attention and see that we make progress in these realms too. But I want to encourage you, and I'm saying this partly for myself today, to encourage ourselves to be easy on ourselves, to say, hey, it's good to have a strong commitment to being more conscious, more aware, more compassionate, more loving tomorrow than I was today. But if I stumble and fall a little bit, that's not a failure. Or if it is a failure, failure is good because it teaches us things. So this is just a reframing, if you will, of this concept of attention. A reminder that it is really, really important where you put your attention, and that if we are aware of how media and other cultural influences will pull our attention very strongly, and we don't have to obey that summons. We don't have to let that rule over us. We can decide where our attention goes. But to decide where our attention goes requires us to cultivate that ability to focus it in the direction we want to. The more we do this with, let's say, the dancing monkey meditation, I'll try to remember to put a link to that. The more we do this with an awareness training, like I've been doing with myself, trying to just stop and be aware of my surroundings, of my internal state, the people around me. The more we do this, the stronger it gets. And the stronger that mental faculty gets, the more we'll have the ability to focus our attention where we want to focus it. There's great power in this, my friends, because pretty much tell you that those cultural influences trying to pull your attention, they're not really thinking about what's going to be best for you. They have other ideas and motives, mainly probably making money off of you in some way. And so the idea here is to reclaim that power for ourselves. And boy, devote a week to this, and I think you'll be surprised at what you feel at the end of that week, as far as a heightened ability to put your attention where you want it to be. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I'm not going to have tech access like I usually do for a few days, so give me some extra time to respond to comments and approve them, because, as you probably know, because we have kids on this channel a lot, YouTube makes me approve all the comments. So that, by the way, if you're a person that leaves comments, you don't see your comment pop up right away. It's just in the review queue. And it takes me a while sometimes to get to the computer to see that and to hit approve. Okay, love to you all, and cannot wait to hear from you in the comments.